I always thought I knew what love was. I believed it was simple, safe, unshakable. I believed I had it all, her, me, a future we were building together, one laugh, one promise, one kiss at a time. Her name was Emily. Bright, carefree, someone who made every room feel alive. When I first met her, I felt like I'd won the lottery of life. Every morning, waking up next to her felt like the world was finally in its right place. Visual prompt. AI close-up of the main character smiling while holding hands with Emily, sunlight streaming through a window. Narrator. We had our routines. Coffee together every morning. Late night talks about dreams we barely dared to voice out loud. Movie nights where we laughed so hard we cried. It all seemed perfect. Too perfect? Maybe. But at the time, I didn't notice the cracks hiding beneath the surface. Visual prompt. AI image of Emily texting while looking slightly distracted, subtle tension in the room. Narrator. There were little signs, of course. The ignored messages. The late replies. The distant looks when I shared something personal. I told myself I was overthinking. Everyone has a bad day, right? But deep down, a tiny nagging feeling whispered that something was wrong. Dialogue seen me, hey you've been quiet all evening. Everything okay? Emily distracted, forcing a smile. Yeah, just tired. Work was, stressful. Narrator. I wanted to believe her. I needed to believe her, because the thought that she might not be the person I thought she was. Well, that thought scared me more than anything. Visual prompt. AI image of a phone screen with a suspicious text from an unknown number. Notification lighting up a dark room. Narrator. Then it happened. A message appeared on my phone. At first I didn't understand it. My heart skipped a beat. My stomach turned. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was her, but not with me. Not the her I thought I knew. She was with someone else. Someone I'd seen only in passing. Someone I never expected to be part of my life. Dialogue seen me, voice trembling. Emily. What is this? How could you? Emily's silence, avoiding my eyes. I didn't mean for you to see that. Narrator. Her words sounded hollow, empty. The world as I knew it shattered in a single second. I felt like I was falling, and there was nothing beneath me to break the fall. Visual prompt. AI close-up of main character's shocked expression, tears in eyes. Background blurred to emphasize isolation. Narrator. Everything I had believed about love, about trust, about us, was a lie. I stared at her, trying to process the impossible. Denial, anger, sadness, all of it collided inside me. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run. I wanted to disappear. But mostly, I wanted answers I knew I would never get. Visual prompt. Shadowed figure of Emily in the background, subtly distant and secretive. Main character and focus foreground. Narrator. And in that moment, I realized something I wasn't ready to admit. My life, the life I thought I had, was over. Mini cliffhanger. Narrator. Everything I thought I knew about love was a lie, and I had no idea how deep the betrayal went. End Chapter 1. Visual cue close-up of main characters, trembling hands holding the phone. Fade to black with soft, tense background music to create suspense for Chapter 2. This script gives a dramatic, emotional first chapter, including narration, dialogue, internal thoughts, and visual prompts for AI-generated images. I can continue and expand chapters 2 to 6 in the same format, each tailored for 5 to 10 minutes of narration with cliffhangers to keep viewers hooked. Do you want me to continue with Chapter 2, The Depths of Despair, next? But I was wrong. After that night, after seeing her with him, my world collapsed entirely. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. Even breathing felt heavy, as if the air itself had betrayed me. Every corner of our apartment, every object, every photo reminded me of what I had lost. Visual prompt. Crumpled photos of the couple scattered across the floor. AI image with a dimly lit room. Narrator. I remember sitting there, staring at the photos of us, laughing, smiling, holding hands. I could almost hear her laughter echoing in my head, and it stabbed me like a knife. Why did this happen? Was it me? Did I do something wrong? Or was it just fate, cruel and heartless, to tear me apart like this? Dialogue scene, inner monologue, flashback me whispering to myself. We were happy, weren't we? Was any of it real? Narrator. I kept reliving the good moments, like a broken record. Movie nights on the couch. Morning coffee together? The way she would rest her head on my shoulder when I didn't even notice she was tired, and with every memory, my heart sank deeper. Visual prompt, AI image of shadowed reflections in a mirror showing sadness and confusion. The main character's eyes red from crying. Narrator. I avoided everyone. Calls went unanswered. Messages ignored. Friends stopped visiting, and maybe I wanted them to. I didn't want to see anyone, especially not people who would remind me that life was still moving while I was stuck in this pit of despair. Dialogue scene, attempted consolation. Friend knocking at door. Hey, I know you're hurting, but you can't just lock yourself away forever. Come on, man, let's talk. Me voice hollow, barely audible. I'm fine, really. Just leave me alone. They didn't understand. How could they? They didn't know the betrayal, the heartbreak, the way my soul felt torn in two. I hated myself, her, the world sometimes. All at once, visual prompt AI image of the protagonist sitting alone at night. Rain falling outside the window, dim lighting, highlighting a hollow expression. Narrator. I blamed everything. My own mistakes, her choices, destiny itself. Every night I fought with my thoughts, wondering if I'd ever feel whole again. And slowly, resentment started to creep in. Not just towards her, but towards myself. Why had I let myself fall so deeply? Why had I trusted so blindly? Inner thoughts, flashback sequence. Narrator. I remembered the little arguments we had brushed off as trivial. The ignored calls. The distant looks. I should have seen it coming. I knew something was off. But I wanted to believe in us. And that maybe that was my biggest mistake. Visual prompt, AI image of empty. Dimly lit kitchen with a half-eaten meal on the table. Main character slouched in a chair. Lost in thought. Narrator. Days and nights blurred together. I wandered through the motions like a ghost, haunted by memories I couldn't escape. Every song on the radio, every happy couple on the street, every laugh I overheard, it felt like salt in an open wound. I thought heartbreak was pain, but this was an emptiness I didn't know existed. Dialogue scene, self-reflection, me softly, almost crying. Will I ever feel happy again? Will anyone ever care about me like I cared about her? Or am I broken forever? Narrator. And yet somewhere beneath all the anger, the despair, and the sleepless nights, a tiny spark remained. A faint whisper that maybe, just maybe, life had something else in store for me. But I wasn't ready to hear it. Not yet. I never thought I'd see the sun the same way again. After weeks of darkness, despair, and sleepless nights, mornings felt meaningless. But that day, something shifted. It started small. A flyer I noticed on my way to the corner store, something about a local support group, meditation class, a community gathering. I didn't want to go. I didn't want anyone's advice, their words, their pity. Yet, something pulled me forward. Visual prompt, AI image of a quiet community center or small cafe, warm, inviting lighting, main character hesitating at the entrance. Narrator. I stepped inside and met him. Not just a man, but someone who seemed to carry calm in his very presence. A mentor, a guide, call it what you will. He looked at me and smiled gently. Not the kind of smile that judged, but the kind that understood. Dialogue scene. Mentor. You look like someone who's carrying the weight of the world. Can I ask? What happened? Me hesitant, defensive. It's complicated. I don't think anyone can help. Mentor softly. Sometimes the first step is just showing up. You've already done that. Narrator. For some reason, those words pierced through the fog that had been suffocating me. I wanted to leave, to run back to the safety of my despair, but I stayed. Visual prompt, AI image of the main character sitting cross-legged. Meditating, soft light falling on his face. peaceful expression forming narrator. I started with small things. A morning walk? A few stretches. I wrote my thoughts down in a notebook I hadn't touched in months. Nothing big, just small routines to remind myself I still existed, that I still mattered. It wasn't easy. My mind kept wandering to her, to the betrayal, to the nights I had cried myself to sleep. But each small victory made me feel like I had a little control again. Dialogue scene, self-reflection, journal me, writing. Softly, I trusted too easily. I gave too much. But that doesn't mean I am broken. I am learning. Slowly, painfully, but I am learning. Narrator. I realized that the pain wasn't just about her. It was about me, too. My flaws, my insecurities, my fear of being alone. And for the first time, instead of hiding from them, I faced them. Visual prompt. AI close-up of an open notebook. Motivational words visible. You are stronger than you think. One step at a time, healing is a journey. Narrator. Days passed and little things began to shift. I slept a little better. I smiled at strangers. I laughed softly at old memories, not with bitterness, but with acceptance. I even started running again, feeling my legs move, my lungs expand. It felt good to feel alive. It felt good to reclaim a piece of myself that I thought I'd lost forever. Visual prompt. AI image of main character jogging at sunrise. City skyline in the background, golden light on his face. Narrator. It wasn't a miraculous transformation overnight, but for the first time, I could see a path forward. A path where heartbreak didn't define me. A path where I could exist without constantly looking back, and somewhere deep inside, hope began to whisper. A single beam of sunlight pierces through a dusty window, illuminating a quiet room scattered with art supplies, a guitar, and an old journal. Narration, first-person POV, soft. Reflective tone after everything that happened. After the heartbreak that felt like it tore my soul in half, I realized something. Life doesn't stop for anyone. And if I wanted to find peace, I had to rebuild it myself. Brick by brick, moment by moment. Scene. Rediscovering passions. Visual cue. AI prompt. A young man sits at a paint-stained table, brushes in hand, a canvas in front of him. His expression is tense at first, then slowly softens as he paints. Narration. I started with the things I used to love. Painting, music, even those old sketches I'd abandoned years ago. At first, it felt awkward. My hands trembled. My ideas felt empty. But with each stroke, each note, I felt a little spark. A little spark that reminded me I was still here, still capable of creating. Dialogue to self, softly, like whispering encouragement. You can do this. One step at a time. Scene. Facing fears. Visual cue. AI prompt. Running through an empty street at dawn. A man lifts his face to the sunlight, sweat on his brow, determination in his eyes. Narration. Fear had been my shadow for years. Fear of failing? Fear of being hurt again? Fear of not being enough. But now, I faced it. I signed up for that art exhibition. I auditioned for the small local music gig. Every heartbeat was a challenge. Every step forward a tiny victory. And each time I succeeded, even a little, I realized I am stronger than I thought. Dialogue to friend or mentor during rehearsal. Friend, I didn't know you had this in you. Me, neither did I. But maybe it was inside me all along. Scene. Meeting inspirational people. Visual cue. AI prompt. A bustling cafe. He talks animatedly with a new friend over coffee, sketchbooks and notebooks scattered on the table. Laughter and curiosity in the air. Narration. And then, people started entering my life again. People who didn't know my past, who didn't care about my mistakes. People who challenged me, inspired me, and reminded me that the world is bigger than heartbreak. I met a musician who taught me rhythm in unexpected ways. An artist who pushed me to color outside the lines. Slowly, the walls I'd built around myself began to crumble. Dialogue. New friend. Why did you stop painting for so long? Me. I guess. I forgot how to believe in myself. New friend. Well, it's about time you remember. Scene. Learning forgiveness visual cue AI prompt. A man sits alone in a sunlit room, holding an old photograph, and gently places it in a drawer and closes it with a sense of calm. Narration. Forgiveness wasn't for her. It was for me. I had to let go of the anger, the resentment, the nights spent replaying every painful memory. I forgave not to forget, but to free myself. And with that freedom came a lightness I hadn't felt in years. Internal thought. I am not defined by anyone else's choices. My worth, my happiness, it's mine to claim. Symbolic scene. Rebirth and growth visual cue, AI prompt. A shattered vase being meticulously glued back together. A phoenix rising in a burst of flames in the background. Sunlight spills over a man standing tall, arms open, embracing life. Narration. Piece by piece, I rebuilt not just my life, but myself. I discovered passions I had forgotten, strengths I didn't know existed, and a sense of self-worth that no one could take from me. It wasn't fast. It wasn't easy. But every scar, every broken fragment made me stronger, wiser, alive.